Hello friends, welcome to my Princess Diana channel. Before moving on to the video, if you are not subscribed to my channel, do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so let's move on to the video. Poor me or poor Harry? Let's try to understand why Meghan might have sabotaged her husband. It was evident that Meghan Markle's ambitious controlling plan at the Grand Champions Polo Club in Wellington for the Royal Salute Polo Challenge was enough to put an end to any hope of reconciliation. According to royal commentator Kinsey Schofield, she saw how a woman trying to take a sweet and simple photo with Harry on her cell phone was ousted, making the girl look like an idiot and put the Duchess of Sussex for seemingly like a fragile loser. Meghan's need to control is indicative of profound possessiveness, not only of the person Harry is, but of the wealth and status that losing him would mean. Her outwardly apparent fear of losing Harry in a public place is frightening. She lives in constant fear of a competitor, having gone to great lengths to secure her present way of living as a princess. Harry's former actions, such as secret charity endeavors in Africa, are quite distinct from the scheme used by his wife in the public sector. Such an attitude is revolting and alarming, but it explains why Meghan persecutes her husband and maintains him reliant on her interest. The lady's actions raise questions about her honesty and authenticity. His remarks regarding Africa as his spiritual homeland reflected the prince's partnership with the state of Sussex not to blame. The splendid stars over Botswana seem to have validated his contention when he met a partner with a heart that purred like Africa. And so, from the ground up, they hatched up a plan. Since Meghan's first public tour was not so perfect, Harry has only been to Africa once, and on his own, to make it even more memorable. Meghan's inattention can be explained by other, to some extent, more important duties. Maybe she had to pick up some milkshakes for the visited people. It means they have a difference in priorities. At the same time, considering it was in Africa, where they took their romance route. Moreover, it could have just come in handy in promoting their humanitarian mission and getting away from the press, especially after their confessions. At the same time, back then, Meghan used to say that she felt nearly their sister, having met the local women. Nonetheless, as long as she has failed to be present at the memorable event, she is present at any polo event Harry attends, even if she should be present in multiple places at the same time. Moreover, at the even, she is somewhat a despot, if not to say a matriocha. In the most memorable moment, she complied with the rules, but so eagerly took the trophy to present it to Harry during the award ceremony. It has been mainly done to be in the middle of almost anything, but she claims that it was all about saving Harry from the press. By the way, the stadium of the match is the place where she was chasing the chairwoman of the Toymaker charity off away from Harry, not to look more successful than her. Thus, this reaction complements the previous one. She claims that Harry does not want a beautiful and successful woman to be close to him, so she chases the woman to look perfect. No one wants to take your puppet away from you, don't worry, Meghan, it is easy to assume. Since she has a manipulating nature, she will never get rid of such reactions. That is why it was good they left. No matter how many attempts King Charles has made to reconcile it, the divide seems too large. Meghan was never really designed as a part of royal life, it's entirely too much for her to be integrated into the palace environment. In this image, Harry is not simply her occasional rider. He is a mascot for the same reasons. Netflix seems desperate if this is what they have to show. Harry's angry personality on the polo field doesn't cater to a wide audience in any way. Meghan does exactly what she knows how to, distract people from the real event and make them keep their eyes on herself. She is completely feeling herself on stage and clearly enjoying herself, even if she looks ridiculous in her stilettos at an event where having them on seems like a joke. As for Harry, it seems that his behavior on the polo field is cruel. There have been many reports that say that he's using spurs so hard that his rising ponies are literally pierced and bleeding, thus, can he even play? This issue has shown quite a bit the issue with their public figures. No matter what Netflix says, it always comes down to the couple, and both show a very grim picture. It's turned the whole story into a tragedy for both parties. I would deduce the idea that Meghan likes being the center of attention, and it correct. Indeed, her actions in the game emphasized she was trying to play the master, and even took a prize off the table when it was handed over. She also stood out by telling everyone else what to do, that even applies to people in serving roles, which is probably why she comes off as not being genuine. The above-mentioned description is entirely in line with everything the constant bullying rumors claim about her. It appears that Meghan, after all, does not have that much to do with polo, except that she prefers to be in the center with the trophy. This is not the first time such a behavior was noticed in the royal, and it raises the question of why she always must push herself forward. In this case, according to the source, she overshadowed even the wives of other team members, such as Nacho Figueres. While Meghan may believe that she is unique, the world has more pressing matters, such as a critical situation in the Middle East. Therefore, the media has no time to focus on Meghan's misdeeds as it has to cover vital political and humanitarian crises. Therefore, it is strange that she is put in the forefront so prominently in the photos, as there was no evidence that she played in the match, and clothes she chose for it were not suitable for the sport. Such a need to draw attention to oneself calls into question her motives and importance. It is incredible that she does not allow Harry to be by himself and instead slyly puts herself in a prominent place. It is evident at such events as the Invictus Games or polo matches, where she seems to strive to be noticeable though playing a minor role. Her behavior at the polo exemplifies her need even more, as there are two aspects to it. She pushes the other, female symbol of the team out of prominence, and herself is eager to take the cup, as well. Her desire to continuously seek attention is in itself questionable, especially when there is no apparent reason for such behavior. Moreover, the mere fact that Meghan may be financially benefiting from the ability to boundlessly expense her stay through various fully covering organizations, such as the Invictus Games, only accentuates the fact that she is extracting a far greater benefit than she adds to the events and arrangements. After all, one has to assume that, unlike Meghan at these events, the other attendees are making do purely for the love of the activity or the cause. Finally, one has to assume that Meghan's antics may well alienate even the members of her inner circle. They cannot be pleased with how they barely appear in any of the photos and interviews she arranges, even though they are unrelated spectators. Surely, the family of the actual attendants feel snubbed. Why doesn't somebody at these events tell her, "Sorry, dear, you're not on this team"? More importantly, I am not a polo fan, but I do know my horses and ponies. The animal does the work there, not the rider. If anyone should be able to caress the trophy, it is the pony. I know Harry isn't all that great a player and he is too liberal with his spurs. If this show were to portray his marathon training sessions for gameplay, why not show him smashing a polo pony while he is pregnant until it is bleeding aloud? It's the equivalent of trying not to look at the dirty parts. If you leave it out, it gets too close to censorship, but there's no way around addressing such truths. Harry and Meghan will never be free of their association with the truth. They've scarcely spoken to Thomas Sr., Samantha, and Thomas Jr. She doesn't comprehend that her father backed her up when she was nothing. She is not to be trusted. When a man abandons his family for sunnier horizons of privacy, it is disappointing to see him on TV with a camera constantly in his face. Such contrasts are proof of just how lost in the private sector job description they truly are. I wouldn't even consider it a matter of record. It's all material for their next project, even the polo match. Simply considering that the horse Harry was riding was pregnant when it was ridden is outrageous in the most shameless way possible. Every move is planned, including the shared kiss. However, their exploiters will support their shows by streaming them, so they will continue to earn resources. I have a personal reason to think otherwise. There was no chance I watched this. There should have been some sort of written statement affirming Harry and Meghan's willingness to present competitors and their sponsors. Netflix, on the other hand, relies heavily on British approval rather than American approval due to their lack of enthusiasm for Harry and Meghan. I have no proof, but many people in UK journalism do not like the show based on their reviews. Hence, it might be appreciated if Netflix sales drop, or if sales are speculated not to involve business personnel, just include Meghan.